but yeah, it's not a great place. I don't know if they've got enough to put parking, and they must have enough.
Well, it's gotta be a couple of half acres, 3 acres there.
Yeah, so
3 acres?
put some parking in or something, but.
Yeah.
You ready?
I bet they'll have enough.
Oh, it is 6:30, isn't it? Thank you. So I guess we've got everybody here, yeah. All right.
Shannon, we're on.
Thank you. All right, we are reconvening. We do have a quorum tonight. 4 out of the 5 selectmen are here. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amendments to the agenda. I have no other amendments other than the ones that are kind of highlighted in here. You're not aware of any? No. Okay. Public comment? Any public comment this evening? Seeing none. Consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. Pay for planning board members during ordinance review meetings. The question has come up. The chairman of the planning board was questioning it. Up to this point, I believe they have been paid for the ordinance review meetings. That's what Ruth has been doing. And I'm not sure exactly why the chair was asking, whether he didn't think they were supposed to or not, but there was the question, and so they wanted it posed to us.
I can't remember back a while if they ever weren't.
Did we
Right.
budget for it? I guess
Well,
is the bigger question.
I believe we
Yeah, I think we
considered
did.
we considered that when we were
Yeah,
budgeting.
I think I asked Ruth about this the other day. I think she said four meetings or something.
Or workshops?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, workshop.
And I don't know if they've had any other extra meetings or if they've ended up canceling any, but we also
We did not hold a meeting this month, because there
Okay.
were no applications, so that
so that's an extra one.
helps, yeah.
So consensus that we're okay with.
Okay, well, let's go with budget.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we budgeted.
I thought that's
Yeah.
what we did, and I think we may have even put in something in there for for some training at one point or another too.
For the historic.
Yeah, okay, for the historic district.
I think unfortunately, long-term, I think a lot of our volunteer committees are gonna be looking for some kind of retribution payments or whatever.
Retribution.
Well, not retribution.
Compensation.
I didn't mean that.
Compensation, yeah.
Thomas,
Yeah, rewards is what I meant to say. Because it's just like with the fire station, people got a lot going on, and really the driving factor is money. It really is, like it or not.
Yeah. Can you pass that on to Ruth? That
It is a yes.
yes. B is we are striking because it was due August 5th and we're beyond that. C, MMA, annual election for vice president and directors. The ballot, they've given us lists. 1 for vice president, vote for 1, and 3 for director, vote for 3.
I guess they all got it.
I'll take a motion on that.
I move that we vote for the slate as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
This,
Yes, that's that one. Thank you.
just check them all.
Yes, and then we'll sign it.
Yeah.
Okay. RFP for Public Works roof. So we sent this out for RFP. We have 4 that came in. None of the four come in at what we had available through the initial bond there. Somewhere between the lowest is between $8,000 and $9,000 more.
What is the process for putting this out for RFP? Where is it posted? Or are people just called, or?
Typically, we post it on our website, on the channel. I believe we usually put it in at least the Tri-Town,
I think it was MMA, I think I saw it in there too.
and we usually put it in MMA, because
Yeah, it was on MMA's site.
MMA that's free to post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. And so, sometimes if there's a known that there are some contractors around, calls will be made to let them know.
Well, that was the
about
only reason I asked, is that
it.
there
I'm unable
were
to,
no local.
I'm unable to
Yeah, that
answer
makes
that at this point because Calvin's not here
Right.
yet, so. Do we want to table discussion on this until he shows up?
I vote to table it.
Okay. Change of Friday hours for the code enforcement officer. There have been a lot of meetings recently where that he's had to attend, and it's been putting him over, or close to over his allotted hours. And so they're asking, right now, I believe we post his hours for the afternoon. We're being requested to post him for the morning. What would that be, 8:30 to 12 or something like that?
Correct.
Okay, from 8:30 to 12, so that if he needs to save some time, he can leave in the afternoon and not have to be here.
Sounds good to
Even
me.
the 16 weeks since the town meeting have gone over 34 hours. Several gone a little bit under, but, and it's like, right now, we're kind of in the doldrums, it's a little quiet. The guys that got started in the spring are kind of accumulating, but there'll be a pickup again and stuff this fall, and I'd like to not burn up the budget between now and then.
Sounds good to me.
So
Makes
because
sense
it's
to
a
me.
little flexibility, it'd make it a lot easier to manage the budget stuff and the timelines of things.
I appreciate you being sensitive to the budget.
So I'll take a motion on that.
I move that we reduce the posted hours as requested.
Second.
Okay, so it's actually not reducing, it's
Changing.
changing.
We're changing the posted
Making
hours
it
as
more
requested.
convenient
Yeah.
to be flexible as well.
Okay,
8:30 to 12:30 or 12?
8:30 to 12.
12 o'clock.
yeah, and this will be effective starting this Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Androscoggin Budget Committee Caucus. We have, for the Budget Committee, where each district is allowed 2 Budget Committee members. One of them must be a city official or a municipal official, and of the 2. We have 3 here that have been nominated. Wade Kaplinger from Durham, Anthony Rennie from Greene, and Jolene Landry Beam from Lewiston. Anthony Rennie is actually a current member of the Budget Committee. Just from my knowledge of what goes on, my recommendation would be Wade and Anthony. But
Well, you have more of a first-hand
I mean, Wade,
sight of it, so,
Yeah.
I was up there the other night to caucus with you, it was kind of first time for me, but
Oh, sounds
I
good to
can
me.
get the gist that some walking through weren't on everybody's favorite list, but
so I will, in that case, I will move that we vote for Wade Kaplinger and Anthony Rennie.
second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
That was, vote
So we'll move on to code enforcement.
All 4 items, one of which you already covered. So we've been getting a little chatter on the email from Kim Moore, who was the wife of the party that filed for an appeal of the planning board's issuance of the conditional use permit for Pinkham Brook LLC to be putting up a cell tower on Pinkham Brook Road on property owned by the Quaker Meeting House, Friends of the Quaker Meeting House. It appears that they're preparing to take that to Superior Court. So if that's the case, we'll be getting in touch with Jack. They've got a couple of weeks yet to make their final decision, to stay within the 45 days required by the ordinance, so I'll keep you posted how that goes. So there may be some more involved in that. Jeffrey, this is part of the comp plan work that's been coming up. We've started a subcommittee that's gonna start looking at putting together some surveys. Chelsea Stewart has some background in that from college, so she's heading up a subcommittee that's gonna try to be prepared to deliver some preliminary formats for the next meeting. So as I had mentioned to Jeffrey in the first meeting, I talked to MMA about personal contact within the community by the comp plan committee, as well as the subcommittees acting what was necessary legally for them. So what I got back from MMA is the comp plan committee is not a committee that necessarily votes on things like application and ordinance. So it's a little less clear in regards to the law as to how they need to handle themselves through public hearing and public meeting. But the basic rules for public meeting should still apply. So including the subcommittees, it was recommended that they be posted as they would post any other meeting, just on the town website or some simple stuff. Take simple notes as far as minutes for the meetings and who was present. And keep that as part of the record for the committee. Any votes, of course, that'll happen, can't happen in a subcommittee format. They have to happen on a full committee meeting anyway. So it's a little loose, but she said just, keep it consistent through that process. So that's the way we'll guide those guys, is how to handle those. So.
I'm having trouble with the wording on something. Any subcommittee meeting should be advertised but does not require posting. What is that?
Well, it's not, planning board application requires to be posted. Public hearings need to be posted, public meetings don't. They need to be out there somewhere, but there are different requirements for a meeting versus a hearing.
Right, yeah, posted means you have to put it at certain public places.
Right, it's more of a
Correct,
formal.
yeah,
Okay,
and there's certain timelines that it has to be put in, so many days before the meeting in so many different places and so on and so forth. So it's a much lower threshold or requirement for that. And Jeffrey DeWitt has gotten back to work on the Meadow Road property. The repairs have been done as requested by Joe Neville, the engineer that we hired to go in and evaluate the process to try to stabilize it, and they're back up and running. So other than that, we're about 20% ahead of last year on permits, including new homes. We'll see what happens this fall. I'm expecting it to kind of keep moving in that direction, but it's a little hard to predict at this point. So, the comp plan committee is hoping to have some stuff ready for the November election. It's a really good opportunity to get face on with the public. A lot of people show up in comparison to most other public events for voting and so on in November on a presidential election. So hopefully there'll be a good chance for some exposure for them and what's going on and get some folks excited. It's pretty much all I got.
Terrific.
Thank you.
I've asked Paul to come up with a price for a cost. As you notice, there's little nookie he's in right now, and he's full-time, and the workload he has on him about taking the fireproof room and maybe building one over across the street, and instead of moving him over there, move that room over there, and what it would take to do that and get all that and move him into that bigger room.
Oh, on the back
Yeah.
and left, yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me to keep everybody under this roof than it is to send him over there, than him have to come back over here every time someone looking for a permit. So I think he's gonna get that amount to us, cost of it. Maybe we can do it, maybe we can't. Hope we can, because I'd like to get him out of that little nook and into a real office.
Get the prices, we'll see how it all falls into place, yeah?
Well, if we don't have any heat in there, we don't have to worry about it, right? We're saving money. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't gotta put heat in there.
Can I have your permission to call it a day today?
Actually, I would think you would want to, as far as heat, if we did do that, you would need to keep it somewhat climate controlled because of what we keep in that room.
I mean,
Yeah, if we move,
easier to climate control over there for the archival stuff.
Right.
Without using the system that's trying to double for this.
right.
Humidity and temperature, you keep them both low, preferably for archival work.
Speaking of archival work, just before you step out, it was my understanding that the original town charter was converted to a digital format, or that somebody had taken a digital picture of it, or something?
Someone had taken a digital Shannon had taken a digital picture of it, I think with her phone.
Okay, I have spoken with a professional conserver, that's what they do is conserve and repair old documents, who would be willing to review the pictures of it and donate time to do what needs to happen to conserve the charter, if
That'd be
that's...
awesome. If you can email me that with that information, I'll be the go-to person.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can just get me the pictures and I can shoot it over to them. They are out of state, and so they just want to look at the pictures and get a sense of what it may or may not.
I'd like that. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Good night.
Night.
Chief?
Well, I assume you all have my report. Do you want to backtrack and do any of the previous week, 2 weeks ago, or no, just move on?
Think
Anything that
any-
to what I...
I think anything from that one that was
Okay.
interesting, you put it in this one too.
I didn't get
Right.
one for the ninth bill.
You get one from this week or last week?
I've got
This
one
week.
here.
Oh, no, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll start off at the Smileys. I've got Smileys lined up to do the floor. He's just trying to work out the date that he can have his people to come in and do the tile and everything. So I don't have a finished date on it. Truck 24, it's been for its pre-test and its inspection and service, and it's all ready to go. Not to say when we go to do the ladder test, they might not find something, but as we can tell at this point, it's all ready to go. Pump test will last Friday. I don't have the test results back from the pump test. Word of mouth is that we're in pretty good shape, and I don't have to do much of anything. Few valves here and there, and that's about it. But I don't want to guarantee that until I get the report. Now the big one. This is something I've been going back and forth with, trying to fix. We've discussed it a couple of times, participation and membership, and we've been trying to change systems over at the department so that we increase enthusiasm and morale and stuff, and we're there. It's just, we don't have the members to handle the call volume that we're seeing. Last year was a 15-20% increase, and we were at this time of year we were at 201 calls last year at this time. The call on Sunday was 234. It just the members can't keep up with it, and it's having an impact beyond us missing occasional calls. They feel like they're letting people down when they end up missing calls, so it's impacting morale as well that way. So I've been kind of looking at what can we do. We've had the 2 recruitments. We've talked about the recruitments. We did the 2 recruitments, and that brought in nobody. I have brought in 2, maybe 3 new people that are, but they're only interested in fire, police, and driving. What we really need is EMS providers. Firefighters, right now we can get by okay, but EMS providers are starting to decline.
Just a question on the increase of volume. Is that almost totally on the EMS side too, or is it?
Yeah, actually, I think I'd have to go back and review it. But I actually think if I actually reviewed it from that perspective, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we'd seen a slight reduction in the number of fire department responses and a very sharp increase in the number of EMS responses, which the EMS side, it takes fewer people to handle the calls, but they tend to be longer duration is the downside. Your time commitment at a minimum, if you do a transport, is 2 hours. More often than not, it's 3 hours. So, right now, days, we're relying on, if we don't have staffing at the station, we're relying on primarily probably 3 people, maybe 4 people that I'm actually, and we joke around about it, I'm the kid in the group when we go on a call on stuff. And that, as much as I like being the kid in the group, that's pretty scary when you think about our system relies on somebody my age being the kid in the group. So it just, I've been looking at it, trying to come up with fixes. I don't see a fix. Our demographics in the community, they're not conducive to, we bring young people through the system. Not many first-time home buyers move to the town of Durham. It's usually second, third, or people that are close to retirement. They're not looking for volunteering for something as demanding as fire or rescue can be, because it really is almost a second career. It has to be a hobby that you really have a passion for. You're never going to last very long in it. And not looking for that, and people we bring up through the system, they can't afford the housing costs in the town of Durham, so they end up moving out of town. More often than not, they hate leaving the department, but ultimately that's usually what happens. Is it's just the long distance connection doesn't work. So I need to make sure that we've started to miss calls. Going back in time, we might have missed 1 or 2 before this year, but this year, I think I put in my report that we've missed probably a half a dozen, but we've missed at least a half a dozen calls that we may have had somebody to do first response, we may not have had somebody to do first response, because the thing of it is with anything with EMS and a transport, you gotta have 2 people. So it's putting a burden on that. I can't guarantee that we're gonna be there for every call. I put some stuff out there, I guess, to compound the things that the daytime person for the Friday shift, their full-time job, they've got opportunities there, so they want to get done. The other 3-day-a-week person actually has had changes in their personal lifestyle, and they'd like to reduce their hours. So the last week and a half, because that was in my last report, I've been doing a per diem thing, which that seems to be working okay right now. Just putting the word out to 6 or 8 people that work full-time somewhere else and saying, well, hey, I got this day, or this day open. Is anybody available to staff it? And so far, it's worked pretty good. I don't know if it'd work long-term or not, but I needed to put it out there, make you guys aware of it, I think we need to talk about it, see what people's expectations are. I know what my expectations are as a taxpayer, not necessarily as fire chief, as a taxpayer. I hope if my family or myself needs a rescue, that you're going to be able to staff it with qualified people in a timely manner. And I've analyzed different ways that we could do this, even going outside the community, and the best way for us to handle it, in my opinion, is this. But I guess I wanted to bring it to you guys, make sure the townspeople knew about the situation, because ultimately I think they're the ones that need to, I don't think I can fix it without it costing money, and ultimately they're the ones that need to decide what they want for a level of service, because that determines what it's going to cost and what we have to do to give them that level of service.
When we don't have coverage on these half dozen or so times you're talking about when we don't have service, who does service those calls?
Postal service.
And what is the time delay?
Depends. It depends. I'll be honest with you. I said I've analyzed this. For many people, if we didn't have the rescue, with an emergency in most cases to the lower end of town down by the bridge, they can probably be there just as quickly as we can, in some cases perhaps quicker. So it depends on location, because I've actually looked at it from the perspective of, well, would we be better off to do first response and do a different service? But for many of us, we're gonna go back to the days of waiting 30 to 45 minutes for a rescue to get there from up in that corner of the world. For the citizens that are close to the, say, the Freeport line, maybe right up near the Auburn line, and maybe down. So probably close to a half of the community, without really analyzing it closely, would get probably the same service as if we were available. But for the other half of the community, we're gonna be back to where it was when we started the rescue, of waiting for a half hour, 45
And
minutes.
I
to
did
get-
also want to compliment your crew. I happened to be driving through on Sunday just after the accident occurred, and the speed at which your people were on the scene was really commendable.
Thank you. That was kind of a mess and hard to sort out.
But they were right there, I mean,
It was very difficult to sort out, but thank you, yeah. Yeah, we did get a good response on that. Usually stuff like that, our response actually, and I hate to say it, but our response improves on stuff like that. It's VMS medical calls that are 2 a.m. in the morning and stuff, and people are faced with, okay, I'm gonna lose 3 hours of sleep tonight, that means I can't perform tomorrow. And we've been doing the sign-up. The sign-up, for the most part, has been working better. We did company assignments before this, which were, hey, this is your rotation, this is when you're supposed to be available. Well, it didn't take into consideration people's personal lives, it didn't take into consideration vacations, their work schedules for anybody that's working odd shifts. So we actually do signing up now, and most of them are putting their best foot forward in signing up, but we still have gaps in the coverage where we rely on, well, hopefully somebody's kicking around that didn't sign up that can do it and stuff. So, I put out suggestions. That to me is the ideal situation. I'm not sure the taxpayers would want to pay what those suggestions are. But I needed to bring it to you guys. I think we need to have the discussion, and you guys need to tell me whether you want me to do more research. If you think we're qualified to make the decision and recommendation, if you want to put it out to the taxpayers, I guess, I don't know where to go from here, but I needed to make sure that people knew where the service was.
Well, I think that you guys probably are the more qualified to do the research and kind of come up with the recommendations. As you said, ultimately, the taxpayers one is gonna say, we want it or we don't. So we need to have something to bring to them,
Yep.
and whether or not we should have a public hearing and have 12 people show up, or 800, we don't know how that's gonna go down as usual, so, that's a question too, but.
Yeah, you need both sides of the coin too. You need for keep it,
Right.
and plus if we outsourced,
Yeah.
they wanna know both, everybody's gonna, any taxpayer.
They're gonna wanna know, they're gonna wanna know cost and then what's gonna happen to the service if we do end up having to outsource, the people you mentioned that would be affected, how much would they be affected? And
What's Pownell do
Pound contracts with Freeport.
in Freeport? Because they're out in the boonies too, out by Pineland. I mean, that's.
We've actually weighed the going, because we used the contract. But, I gotta, some of this pains me to say that but in all fairness to the community and to do my job, I needed to look at it. When I went back, and I didn't do a thorough study, but when going back in time, we used a contract with Northeast, was the last service that we contracted with. We did first response, which got the people there, somebody there to do something, go into a holding pattern, hopefully, until the transport service could get there. And we had Northeast, and we used a contract. I'm not sure, I know the contract kept going down in numbers the last time with Northeast. But there's many aspects to the contracting thing. I'm not sure where the industry is now. I haven't really done any research in regards to what different communities are paying and stuff. But my estimation is the town of Durham, if we did a sole source contract, would probably be looking at 10 to 20,000 a year would be what our contract was. They'd still bill a patient, and then we'd lose any transport revenues that we're collecting that, you know, that go into the capital. So I actually think in the long run that, yeah, if we were using rescue revenues to offset operational costs, I don't think it'd be cost effective for us to do that. When we start weighing in the costs of paying somebody, I don't know where the breaking point is. I haven't really gone to that point to study it. But then there's the service. A service would definitely go downhill. It would, and then nothing against the other services. It's just based on distance.
Right, like New Gloucester, I think, contracts, I think that they,
They did. They actually do their own transports now. For a long time, they contracted with United, and they've switched over to doing their own now. And they do actually do, I think they do per diem staffing, I'm not positive.
If we could get that information, that would, I think what we need.
Well, I can definitely do more research on it and stuff. That's where you guys want to go with it, but I don't want people to be blindsided when they call and, you know, and I'm sure there's already some people that have been shocked when they get a rescue from a different community and stuff. And I don't know what the venue is to make sure the citizens realize where we're at with membership and our ability to handle the volume, but I guess that's the other thing I'd put to you guys is somehow we need to make sure the citizens understand, because ultimately I hate to waste a bunch of time going one direction when really the citizens, I know what I want, but I'm getting old. So, you know, ultimately the citizens may be good with settling for, well, now we'll get ourselves to the hospital and stuff.
I actually
I
wonder.
don't think so, but.
Wonder if what Mark suggested might be a good idea before we get in heavily into the budget season, is to have some sort of a public meeting. The problem with that is you just don't know who. If you only get 5 people, it doesn't do us much good. If you get 50 to 100 people there or more that can, you know, express how they feel, it helps. It could help us determining a direction when it comes to budget.
Yeah,
Maybe
and the other side of it is we got to do something. Right now, I think we can keep it together and keep it moving this way, but long term, like I said, it's gradually impacting the morale of the members when they can't make calls and they start to question their dedication, their loyalty. They question the other guy's dedication and loyalty, so it's having an impact on the department.
As far as the budget, I think no matter what, like you said, it's gonna cost either way. It's gonna cost if we hire someone, it's gonna cost if we outsource. So I think we need both those figures when we go in front of for the budget and
Yep.
we go town meeting. I mean, it's gonna be voted by that's what we need.
And maybe we can put it out there, even if we have to put it out there 6 weeks in advance or 8 weeks in advance. Just keep putting it in the paper to remind people that this is coming up, and we'll pick the date, 6 or 8 weeks away, that you want to have this public hearing, and this is what it's on, and this is why, and so we have to do a reminder every week or every other week, so people will pay attention and, you know. It's kind of like putting up a pink sign for safety, you know, after it's there forever and you don't remind them, it's just second nature and you just walk right through it, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yep. Okay, well anyways, in the meantime, what I have been doing, and I'm gonna keep my eye on the budget and stuff, and I think I can still make it work doing the per diem thing. If you guys are good with that, I'm gonna just keep doing the per diem thing and put it out to the group of people that do have days available periodically and try to cover what I can out of the daytime and stuff.
Do what you can.
Any
That was all I had for the report.
questions? No? Thank you. Oh, sorry.
W-9 and liability for Smiley's.
Is what?
W-9 and liability insurance. I just noticed it.
Yeah, for, which one?
Smiley's. Yeah, the
Gary,
W-9.
I have
yeah.
their certificates of liability.
I got that from him the other day.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I see Smiley's and I just checked and they're
Yeah,
not.
Smiley's, I don't have it firmed up yet, the date
Okay.
yet. So once I get the date firmed up, I'll hit him up for it.
Just a reminder.
Yeah. Did you get more painting from Gary as well? Because Gary's doing the woodworking, and that's who's the invoice is for. But I have more actually as well, because more is subcontracting through Gary to do the painting. I
No,
have
so
more
I'll
over
need
there.
it on him. I just got Gary's
Yeah, I
liability.
have more over there as well,
Okay.
listing the town as additional insured, so I can give you
Great.
a copy of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Road Commissioner. And before we actually get into the report, we started taking up the roof replacement bids, and we tabled it until you were able. One of the questions that came up on it is, what methods did we use to advertise this? Do you happen to remember?
Ruth put it on MMA website.
I got one already.
Oh, you did, that's right, thank
You were right on the,
you. And put it on MMA website, and I think, I'm not sure. I think once it goes to MMA, it goes to all the, because I know we get people from Pennsylvania, we get people from,
Right, and we did, I'm sure we did the town channel and the website. Do you know if we did Tri-Town?
I think so, I think.
We just wanted to make sure it got out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, so if you want to jump down to that, about fourth one up from the bottom, a roof RFP.
Your note says if
This
you
one?
don't do the office area addition, it would be less.
29,000.
And I was curious about whether,
Why would we be
I wouldn't
doing it?
anticipate that the office area addition would need to be done. It was just built.
Yeah, it was, yeah, I mean, those shingles are okay. I mean, it would be nice to have it all look the same, but I think we can, as long as we get the same color scheme going on, it would be okay.
So question is, if we did that, do you have enough in your current budget that you could do that as a maintenance to cover the gap?
Probably not under maintenance, but,
But if, we don't have to keep that line as long as the whole line,
Right.
the whole budget line, but would you have enough to be able to do that, do the rest of it as under your budget?
I could let you know at the next meeting. So I did talk to the low bidder today, and he's eager to go, he's got great references, and, but the other thought is, or we could just say, look, why don't you do this, next year, it's not leaking, and we put the extra money in the budget for next year to take care of it. I don't know how long that 24,000 can kick around, but.
That we'd have to ask, because I think I think we can hold on to it now, but the problem is we're also paying, we're gonna be paying interest on it and things like that, but.
I could probably find it, but I'll give you a definite, the next meeting.
Did we contact anybody? I know you had it in the paper, but I don't know how some of these guys, local guys look at, bids out there. Did we contact any of the guys that you asked to come down and look at it in the past?
Yeah, I called the guy that gave us the quote last time.
Yeah.
And left him a voicemail message to please, I said, it's going up to bid, I need you to call me back to submit something in writing for, and he never got back to me. So, that. I guess an option would be we reject them all and go back to that guy. And,
Well,
he was.
the only reason I was asking is I didn't see his name on there, and I knew that I saw him somewhere, and he had told me that he had looked at
I
it.
mean, once we already have a formal bid out, you gotta stick with that. You just can't chuck that in the garbage.
Well, we can accept or reject any of all these.
Right.
So it might be, I just want to make sure that the guys that had looked at it before had an opportunity, that's all.
Yeah, no, I called him up and.
But without, I would say that we can't make a decision until we determine if there's enough money in the budget to cover the gap.
And could you find out, actually, I suppose I think it would be fair to find out from all the bidders what it would be if you didn't do, what the final price would be if you didn't do that.
Okay.
Right, yeah, give them all the chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, two of them are within $150 of each other.
Right, I realize, I just think it would be fair, it's just give them all a level playing field.
Just thinking about working with a company from Pennsylvania. I don't know.
Well, we can take that into, when we're looking at it, we can take that into consideration, but.
I was surprised to see that was there.
Yeah, well, they get them off some website that goes into some builder's journal. Once they hit MMA, somehow it gets, I would assume it's that, or it could have been through the Sun Journal, actually. Somehow they're getting it. It gets into a...
There's no jobs down there.
I don't know. So, I assume you guys have this? You guys must already have these?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
need...
I wouldn't put the numbers out there right now till we,
Yep. Okay. I think all the bidders know the numbers they've all called and gotten them, so...
They're actually public now. They're actually public now. They've been open.
So, okay, here's the, you guys probably have this too, So this is where we stand with the bond at this point, what we've paid out. All looks good.
We are on track and on budget for the rest of the project?
Yep. Assuming we don't have any issues that, I think, we've got about $40,000 or $50,000 there that if something comes up to play with at this point.
so we're gonna probably start the ditching on the rest of the Rapid Road path that we already have. I don't
It is,
know.
yep.
Yeah, that looks great.
See,
How's our rubber tracks working out?
perfect. You'll see that in the report there.
Number 3,
Three?
or the third.
I was on the other report still.
Yeah.
Ted Berry lined that culvert,
Yep,
so how'd it come out?
came out good. And the bill should be in your AD warrant.
So I see, are you
You gonna go right through?
gonna go down them or just?
I can, yeah. So,
Go over.
Ron, back from vacation today, that's good news. I've been carrying his load, my load, and so it's good to have him back and have a full crew again. Rabbit Road, we've pulverized that since our last meeting. That was pulverized, added additional recycled asphalt material and applied the 19 millimeter base pavement. That's, I'm hoping everybody understands that's not the final pavement.
Still got more going on?
The final surface layer will go on to 1.5 inches of 9.5, once we're done ditching, once we're done
Okay.
anything that could chew up the pavement.
That's why I thought it was all done.
Is that planned for this year, or are we gonna be doing it?
I think it'll be this year.
So they have enough material on the sides, so are we gonna go back and
We'll go
redo the
back.
shoulders and?
Go back and shoulder again.
Okay,
And we'll just go up that 1.5 inches and we'll feather it down to the existing.
okay.
So, we had to make a few changes. We ran into a few extra costs. We ran into some extra costs, about $13,000 in extras by the time we got done box cutting some areas that were weak and found some springs, and by the time we got done with that and adding material, we're about $13,000 in extras. So that's well within our comfort level of what you'd expect for what we had for contingency fund. Finished up the plans with Crooker on Friday, so we should be ready to go. We made a few changes with a few curves and hills, and gonna pick up some areas to try to alleviate that hill up by Barry Baldwin's, to try to pick up, to leave it at grade on the top and then pick up in the bottoms to try to take some of that blind curve out, some of that blind hill out. And in a few corners, we've made a few changes. So that's, we're looking to grind down on Thursday. And they're coming to do I still haven't decided. I might just have them grind the first piece from the bridge at Runaround back and then add material and pave, because Allstate is looking to do the injection on the other piece on the 20-something, and I don't know if you saw what happened on Rabbit Road, but once that's ground, it becomes a dust bowl, just nightmare. So I might have them just try to, but then they're gonna need some time to put the reclaim in, so, one way or the other, it'll get done. It'll either be that I try to push them off a little bit and get that done just a few days before all states gets, otherwise, we just gotta keep watering it nonstop, or it becomes very, very dusty.
I bet that they'll put up with some of the dust right now.
Well, that's just that's a lot of dust. Right now, it's bad.
Yeah.
Bad, so. Ted Berry's done that culvert. So that's done, lined. It was an interesting process to watch how they put that in there in a square box, and then that light comes back through, and it's got sealed gaskets and containers and smoke's coming out. It looked like some science fiction project when they put that blue light in, and then it expands and takes shape of the culvert, and once that's done, it's stronger than the culvert itself. It doesn't even need the culvert anymore. So, however it works, I don't know. It's an engineered product, so. And it has more volume capacity than it had before, which is somewhat mind-boggling, but smaller, but yeah, more. So the water goes through it faster.
Yeah, it's less ribs.
Yeah.
Less friction.
So we replaced all the rest of them in-house. Some of them I was on the fence about, but we just went ahead and we got them done. So Time Warner Cable finished rewiring the street. So everything's overhead now that was underground, except for one little piece that we dug for them to get it from the pole to the transformer, about 80 feet. But all the rest of the road, that was all underground. You saw them orange flags everywhere. It was just going to be a nightmare. We would have been right in the middle of our project. We wouldn't have known how to ditch or dig or grind. So we negotiated that all out of the way. It's all gone. So that all those old wires will probably rip out when we're there, and people will see those wires and be horrified. But they're all dead. I confirmed today they're dead. So we just got to backfill that trench and start digging. So the roof, we went over. Shouldering on stack poles since our last meeting has been completed. I think it was done the day after our last meeting. The Maine Department of Labor rewritten the lockout tagout policy, and we're just going to go over it this week. Once Scott's back tomorrow, maybe tomorrow we'll go over it and do the hands-on. We did the hands-on on our old one, and now that we've rewritten it, we've got to do it again. So then that's all ready to go off to Maine Department of Labor. I'll skip the next one. So our new 2017 Freightliner HP Fairfield should be ready in about a month. It's here. It's at HP. Truck's all built, and they're just putting the stuff together. So within a month we'll have that new truck, and they'll have our old one, and that will be done. Except for paying them. How do we pay them? We got the money somewhere, right? All we gotta do is give them the check. So I'm assuming that was approved. So
Yes. We have,
When do you start sort of tuning up and gearing up the trucks? Is that a fall project?
Yep. Well, we're working on it all summer, so I've been staying on that more aggressively this year and keeping Scott in the shop more. And so we're just staying on top of that to make sure that those are done. And then when this additional new truck, that's going to help. So with the flaggers, it's much easier this year. We don't have to have half of our crew out flagging when now I can have 3 people out there and 1 in the shop and still function. Whereas last year we had to have everybody just to do the flagging. You'll see the second to the last one. I'd like to request that the personnel handbook state that all vacation time must be pre-approved by department head.
you mentioned that right currently it says should.
It says should. Right now it says vacation time should be pre-scheduled. It says should. If it said must, then something a little more aggressive. Because what's happening now is there are people that are calling out sick, but then they're getting paid on Friday using vacation time, and that's not what it's intended for. So it should be, so there's no incentive it would give people more of an incentive to go to work if they knew they weren't going to get paid.
Mine says I have to get mine approved. It has to be approved.
I think it makes sense that, and that it should be approved. Vacation time should be pre-approved, even, I mean, if it's a single day, even if it's a day before, but it needs to be pre-approved to use vacation time. I would.
Must, yeah, well, fine with me.
All you got to change is one word.
Is, if you're out of sick time and you are out sick because you are sick,
There's a provision
you,
in there.
right, you could approve them to use vacation time if,
Well,
I'm just asking that.
well, the way it's worded now under the sick time policy, it says that it doesn't say I can, it says the person can request to the select board that they be granted, and the board could grant it to them, but it wouldn't happen in a timely fashion, whereas if they want to get paid this Friday, it's not gonna happen. So it probably wouldn't.
So there's a provision that it can be used, but it's a process.
Well, it can't be used for vacation time. Under sick time, a different section of the policy, it says if you're out of sick time and you need more, you could go to and you could borrow sick time.
Okay,
From
it's
the
borrowed
board.
sick time, okay.
And then when you make it up later, you'd give it back, but
Right.
that's a whole
Yeah.
different animal. But right now, what I don't want to see happening is vacation time being used as sick time. They're two separate things and they should be utilized separately.
Not me.
I'm not sure if,
I'm self-employed,
I'm not sure if that was, I'm not sure I understood what you just said, or if you understood what I was asking.
So,
I understand that if vacation time needs to be approved, whether it's the day before or whatever, I get that, but I guess what I asked,
If someone's out of sick time, they
if
come
they're
to.
out of sick time and they truly are out because they are sick, and whether it's a doctor's own, you can verify it. You can't, okay, as the vacation time, as sick time would come to the board, that's what I'm asking.
the board would have to
Yeah,
approve
the board
something
would.
like that.
They'll give 'em-
And, I mean, it would be borrowing of sick time, basically.
Well, what happened?
No,
Why couldn't
that's
we
what I'm
just
saying.
use the vacation time?
That's what I'm saying, you could actually use the vacation time, if you have 20
Well,
hours
at
of
that
vacation
point, it's
time-
pretty much pre-approved, because if you're out for a long-term illness,
Right,
and you know you're gonna run out of sick time,
The,
then it would
That's
be
what I'm
pre-approved,
asking.
yeah.
the policy, at this point, from what you said, the policy states that they can come to the board and request to borrow sick time.
right, but I'm not talking about borrowing sick time, I'm talking
Using the
about,
vacation.
right, if you've got 0 sick time left, and you've got 20 hours vacation time, and you are out sick, you're saying that you can't use that vacation time for that particular sick day. That's what I'm getting.
Right. Vacation time, the intent of vacation time is to
Be pre-approved.
be
I
pre-approved.
understand that, but what I'm saying is if you truly are out sick, then you've got a 3-day doctor's
So-
note that says so. I just want to make sure that we're clear.
So the board can always make adjustments as they see fit. But as right now, the way the policy is written, that's not an allowable use of that wouldn't be, if we make this change especially, it would not be an allowable use of vacation time. But they can always request that the board waive that.
Right.
I mean,
That's
it's
what I'm-
one of those things.
That's what I was trying to.
And the way that a lot of employers get around it is that they just have a bank of time. And whether you use it as vacation time or sick time or personal time or.
Right. Well, I'm not
whatever it
suggesting
is,
that if you're out of
people
sick
get X number
time,
of
you call
days.
out sick and you get to use that automatically. I just want to be clear that
We can't, they
there
gotta
is a
come to us.
person, if it's, I mean, I don't want people just calling out sick and
His-
using vacation time. just
And
because they can.
his request is basically, I think, trying to make the policy say what we wanted it to say
Right,
anyway.
that's fine.
You should not use
should.
should not use
Used
the
to.
word should in a policy.
Right.
That's.
Right.
It's like
Agreed, I agree that.
nailing Jello to a wall. It's like, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
When you're doing policies and things like that, you should use definitive statements.
I agree.
Now, do we have, because I don't remember what we read in that policy, is there one day notification on vacation day or 2 days?
I don't
nothing.
think, it doesn't really say, it
It
just
just says
says
should,
pre-approved.
it just should be pre-approved, so it
Okay.
says.
Or in this case, it's gonna be changed to must be pre-approved.
Mm-hmm.
If they ask you the day before, that's up to you.
Yeah, I just want to be a little more, because if it's the day before, at least I can either cancel the flaggers, or I can
Right.
take
That's,
some.
that's what I'm asking, yeah.
We'll say no.
I know, I think ours is 48,
Mine's 3
but
days.
they, they work around that unless it's a,
Well, maybe I should
They know if it's
put,
a
maybe I
trend.
should put an hour in there, so it's not
I
an
mean-
hour.
Right now, I'm fine with making
Right.
this change, and you are, I mean, at this, it says pre-approved. They can ask for the vacation, you don't have to approve the vacation. There's nothing that we say that you have to approve a vacation day.
Right, if there's 2 other people out that day, just, no, it's not a good day.
I mean, and ours is 48, but they have done it the day before occasions. And you can tell if it's something that's continuing, it's a pattern that's kind of being abused, and then you can
Yeah.
deal with that.
Well, I am seeing a pattern, and that's why I'm talking to you.
I'll make the motion that we change the personnel handbook to change the word should to must in the statement that says all vacation time should be approved by the department head, that we change it from should to must.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
So that's all I got. Any questions from you guys?
Anything? Do you have anything from Ruth that you need to bring forward? Okay. Good. There'll be upcoming selectmen's meetings held here Tuesday, August 23rd at 6:30 PM and Tuesday, September 26th at 6:30 PM. There will also be a special selectmen's meeting Monday, August 15th at 6 PM. Historic District Commission meeting will be held Thursday, August 11th at 6:30 PM here at the town office. Are there any other comments that we need to?
6 PM Monday, you said?
Yes, 6 PM Monday. Yeah. Okay. Move that we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A Personnel Public Works.